Hello, cats and kittens. Oliver Jose, Roshku. Welcome back to Manga Mondays on the Crisis Corner. Manga Monday. So good to me. Anyway, I like singing that song. Anyway, back on Manga Mondays in the Crisis Corner, and we are dealing with our review of One Piece Chapter 1019, Heliceratops. It's like a Triceratops, but it's a helicopter. We'll get into that in a minute. So we get this basically a two-page opening, which was a check-in, I guess you'd say this. Checking in with Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy in their various stages of whatever. And it's interesting that we check in with Sanji in his battle with Queen. It looks like they're still in the feeling out period. Nobody's really going all out. We haven't got to that part of the fight yet. And Sanji makes the remark that, but anyway, go back. Queen is firing a rapid fire lasers at Sanji, who, to his credit, doesn't seem to be having any problem dodging rapid laser fire, which shows that the man got some speed. That's a pretty good speed feat. One laser's, pretty bad, but rapid fire laser, dodging them, the man's fast. This is speed plus his observation hockey. Just some Spider-Man type joint. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty good. And he makes a comment that Franky would love to have that type of tech, which is interesting. I'm assuming Queen is more advanced of Franky. Franky basically either reverse engineered or whatever his tech from what he found of Vegapunk's tech. So anyway, that's just interesting that, he makes that comment. I'm sure at some point Frank is going to cook that up anyway, but that's cool. You might get a Queen's corpse and scavenge it for parts once Sanji's finished with it. Anyway, so you go through that. Now, it's interesting when you get to Zoro. I've heard people make the comment that, his protestations of being jabbed at by Miyagi or that he's afraid of needles. I don't think his protestations are that, unreasonable. I mean, for gag's sake, Oda has Miyagi stabbing at him through these thick wrappings, Sanji wrapped him up unreasonably thick. It's a gag, I get it, you know what I mean? But he's been a little reckless with that needle. You know what I mean? He could just. I mean, he don't know what he's hit. The sound effect is stab, stab, stab. So he could stab him in the arm, the heart, the balls. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? He's being a little reckless, but it's a gag. So we get that. Obviously, he should cut the bandages off, then inject him. I'm sure there's a sword around there somewhere that could get it done. But whatever. It's a gag. Haha, it's funny. That's good. Then we get Luffy, who's waking up from his nearly drowning on a polar tang. And there's another interesting thing, which is I just didn't put together, that Law's the only surgeon on the polar tang. For some reason, I associated his crew with doctors. It's just some weird whatever. So I figured there might have been more than one doctor on the polar tank, but apparently, because these guys are talking about, should we give him some medicine? Should we give him some pills? I wish, Captain was here. So he's the only doctor apparently on there. They pumped the water out of Luffy, and that's about the best they could do. For some reason, I thought there was more than one doctor on there. Or they all, for some reason, specialized in medicine, but that's my mistake. Anyway, so And then Luffy cries out for meat because we all know that once he's reached his limit, pump him up with meat and he's back where it comes. I mean, he's back to full power. That's his thing. He's on meat, Zoro's on liquor. You know, everybody's got their thing. Franky, cola, blah, blah, blah. So that's cool. So we got our little catch up on the monster trio. That's cool. Now we get to our fight. And this is also interesting in that for the second straight fight, Franky is basically matched up. Usually if you go type for type, swordsman for swordsman, martial artist for martial artist, you would assume technically that Franky would get matched up with a tech guy or person, but you know it's not going to be Queen because Queen's too far above him in terms of power level. So that's true. So when we get to his fight with Sasaki, he's basically matched up with a thug. Now, interestingly, Franky's roots is in being a thug because he was pretty much back when they first met him at Water 7. He was the leader of a gang of thugs. True. So he's dancing that line between thug and tech genius. So it's all good. And he's getting assistance from the poor. I have sympathy for these guys. They've been mind wiped. They've been fed drugs, and their will's been, compromised. Order 66. I keep saying the evil Empress Otama has subjugated them to her will. So he's getting assistance from the mind wiped beast pirates, the gifters, who are helping him take care of the father so he can go one-on-one with Sasaki. Sasaki eventually reveals his secret ability, which is crazy as all get out. His little, you saw it. I mean, his little thing, he starts spinning around his neck, lifting him up into the air, tries a heliceratops, basically, and he flies in the air like a helicopter and uses that to attack. He actually is attacking his own people who have been, again, mind wiped by Otama. I'm sorry, Empress Otama. And Franky now has to defend. They're friends now, of course. So Franky has to defend his friends, the mind wiped beast pirates, and the battle commences. And it's actually a pretty good fight. I wouldn't say it's on the same level of last week's battle with Jinbei and who was he fighting? Jinbei's fight last week. But it's still, I like it. I like the pace of the fight, and I like the abilities that we get to see Franky display. We haven't seen Shogun Franky go all out ever, I don't think. I mean, that thing at Fishman's Island was a joke. He didn't use Shogun Franky on Dress Rosa. He was just busy suplexing people. So yeah, I guess this is the first time. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we see him go all out. So he's using swordsmanship, which is not really his deal, but he has a sword, so be it. Now Sasaki too has a sword, which is more, I guess you could say, more of a drill than a sword, but he blitzes Franky with this technique where he does his helicopter thing. There's some dispute as to when before he initially initiates the blitz, he backs up for distance so he can get ramming speed, although Franky seems to think that it was actually a mistake. But either way, Franky puts up his general shield, the Bullets-Ceratops attack, he blitzes him, and it seems to overwhelm the general shield to the point where the attack damages his shoulder rocket launchers and it goes off and eventually explodes. So Yeah, it explodes. Franky uses like some judo type deal where he catches his momentum and puts him to the suplex, general suplex, which is kind of cool. But I'm pretty much done with the suplex and stuff. We've seen enough of that against Senor Pink. He tries to catch him with another victory slash. Franky tries to catch Sasaki with another victory slash, but misses. So he goes for his old. Sasaki actually cuts his Franken sword, or whatever you want to call it. And he blitzes him again. Okay. He tries to blitz him again. Franky gets distance and launches the general cannon, which you figure would be the finisher. Because Franky made the statement that he's surprised that Sasaki's toughness, because he figured he had hit him with enough finishes up until this point, off screen, of course, to finish him. But he's resilient, like all the Beast Pirates. They're very resilient. And he's taking all of these blows. Now he hits him with the general cannon, which launches him way up into the air. You figure that's game because he's spitting up blood and all of that. But then he comes, I guess he uses the momentum of his fall to come down on Franky and just crush the Shogun, the Franky Shogun armor. And you figure, hey, that's a big disadvantage. Now, interestingly, the cola limit hasn't come up yet. So I'm assuming General Franky Shogun runs on unlimited cola. It's kind of like if you go back to Naruto and Kakashi and his limit with I'm gonna keep saying hockey, but it's One Piece hockey. Naruto ran on chakra. Yeah. So his chakra, yeah. It's been so long. Anyway, so it's always anyway. So Kakashi always reaches a limit. Franky used to reach his limit in the middle of fights and have to get some more cola, but whatever. None of that seems to be in play right now. So anyway, General Shogun armor it looks like it's done. And Franky ejects from it. But now he's got a shot at the underbelly, which he says is Sasaki's weakness. And he hits him with the radical beam. And again, it looks like that's it because, the eyes go white, still coughing up blood. But as we see with Page One and people like that, that might not necessarily be the end for him. It might not be. I think Page One got lanced by Big Mom and got back up and kept going. So it was Ulti or Page One, I can't remember which. So this fight may not be over, but it looks bad. It looks bad for Sasaki. Now I can't remember what the pecking order is in the Toby Rope. So if we're saying who's who, Sasaki and going down, I'm not sure. But it looks like a win. But I don't know how this raid is going to go. So let's not presume this is a win. Which leads us into the final fight, or the final check-in, I guess you would say, with Yamato against Kaido. And she is in what I would have to assume is her. I don't know what kind of prehistoric Zoan creature she is. He, she, whatever it is. She's holding her own, first of all. She's holding her own. But I can't tell looking at her. This must be the hybrid form of something rare. Because it does, off the top, you can't tell what Yamato is. It's not it's got to be some kind of mythical Zoan that I don't know about. Looks kind of cool, actually. Looks kind of like Carrot, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's kind of Carrot looking, but it's a cool design to be honest with you. Uh, Arms are long and kind of lean, claws, I guess. You can't really tell if there are claws involved, but I think so. And the hair is like ghostly. And again, she's given Kaido a decent fight. And in the conversation during the battle, it turns out that, like Luffy, she accidentally ate her fruit. And Kaido says he went through a lot of trouble to get it, which is interesting because I can only assume that he's not actually trying. If he wanted, if it was a big problem for him, he put like this, he said he didn't intend to give it to her. Now, in his mind, he would rather tame her and then just her, him, whatever, and convert her into one of his soldiers. But she's resistant because she's, obviously not willing to be one of Kaido's subordinates. She wants to be old. If Kaido really wanted the fruit that bad, he could, being a bad guy, he could just kill her and then try to, wait till the fruit goes back into the cycle, and however that works. Once a person dies, their fruit goes back into the cycle or whatever of being available. So technically, he'd kill her which would be a horrible thing to do, but he's a bad guy, so maybe he's not as bad as all that. He would rather make a soldier out of her than kill her, reattain the fruit that way, however that works. But she reaffirms that, she stayed in Wano to defeat him because she's on that Odin tip, wanting to save the country. That makes me wonder what her ultimate journey is going to be. Is she going with the Straw Hats, or is she going to stay in Wano with Momonosuke and help guide the country, basically taking Kaido's place and helping Momonosuke rebuild Wano? Interesting. I mean, I can't get a beat on what she's going to do or what she's going to be, but I guess keeping us guessing is not the worst thing in the world. I don't know how much more of this fight we're going to get. We know that Luffy's going to take out Kaido, so she's ultimately going to fail at some point, or reach her limit at some point. And I'm also curious as to whether we know she has armament, haki, most likely advanced, but conquerors, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm thinking she has advanced armament, haki, and that's it. So I'm interested to see how much of her fight with Kaido is going to be on screen and how much is going to be off screen. But it's a good chapter, a good fight chapter. Again, I don't think Sasaki's finished, although I would like to think the Radical Beam would get rid of him. And if it hasn't, will the cola limit rear its ugly head and turn into a race against time? Because I don't see him finding any cola on this battlefield anytime soon. That's just a guess. So that's it. Pretty good chapter. We won't get another one until it's saying August the 1st. Yeesh. But worst things can happen. Get a man his break. And that's it. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed the chapter. That's it. So until next time, stay loose. Let me know what you think. I'm out. Manga Monday. Can't trust that day. Manga Monday.